Oh, by the way, I want to tell you, I'm thinking about starting a solo podcast, like
Are
a
you?
solo video.
Yeah.
Was more like not a podcast, but like a video thing, really short, like maybe 10 minutes or less. I'm gonna review children's books, like because there's so many shitty children's books.
Yes.
Because I have to read them, right? And so if my son starts liking one and it's shit, I have to read it
You
like
have
a
to
million goddamn times.
finish it? They're
Yeah,
not.
yeah. But like some of them, like there's so many that people are like, companies are like, it's so cynical. They're like, well, it's just a children's book. Just get someone on staff to write it. Like, it doesn't even have the author's name on it, or even the illustrator's name. Sometimes it's just a work for hire, and they're so shitty.
Yeah. You're talking
So
about the Dr. Seuss books, right?
No, Dr. Seuss. What are you talking about? No, Dr. Seuss is great. It's not written by a fucking company. That's like, dude, asshole.
Okay, the real topic I want to talk about today, something really important and life-changing. Star Wars Episode 7 trailer.
Yes.
What did you think?
A black stormtrooper? What? No. It's really funny because I watched the trailer and it wasn't until I read an article about it that I was like, oh yeah, like
the fact that he was black.
No. I'm not Stephen Colbert. I do see color. But
he's colorblind.
No, it didn't strike me as like, a big deal. I mean, partly because it's funny because like anyone who actually knows the sort of is like a Star Wars fan knows that by the era of this, like the second trilogy, the New Hope to Return of the Jedi, stormtroopers weren't fucking clones anymore.
No.
Didn't see anything in that trailer that makes me like worried.
Yes. I haven't felt this excited since Episode 1 trailer because then I was like, oh, this Darth Maul guy is going to be awesome. Right? and then when 2 and 3 came out, I said, no, I'm not falling for this shit again. Right? When those trailers came out. Now with J.J. Abrams, and he's already proved that he's made 2 pretty good Star Trek movies. He's not even a Star Trek fan, really. He's like a Star Wars. He's always said that he's a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I think
neither am I. Sorry, I don't want to do this. There's like, have you seen this? It's happening now. There's apparently a hostage situation going on in Sydney. There's some guy who's like holding hostages in a cafe, and I just saw a tweet. There's 50 people in a coffee shop.
Really?
So the bearded man wearing a black bandana around his head has been filmed inside the Lint Cafe, where hostages have been forced to stand against windows and hold a black Islamic flag.
Ugh. ISIS?
I don't know. I don't think we know.
Yeah. Now I see it too. It's like guns being pointed and military. It's crazy, eh?
My God, it's just like in Australia.
Do you remember that prime minister that was pretty much like saying to those people that don't follow Christian values that get out of our country? He was bound to backlash. Extremists.
They just would have happened regardless because the kind of people who do this, like the mentality is, you could be super nice to them and they still basically want to take over your country and make it part of the caliphate kind of thing. Sorry about that. Yeah, we don't tend to do breaking news, especially because we're pre-recording this. But fucking hell.
Not to segue this to religious and and beliefs and all that stuff, and I like the two of us were not really religious people. There was an argument at work the other day. I'm kind of responsible for sending out emails out to everyone to like notify them whenever we're having an event, like a social committee events. And one thing that we do every year is we have a employee outing where we go out and we have not a Christmas lunch, but just a a holiday lunch, let's say.
Mm.
And I take into consideration the wording and call it holiday. This year we actually had one person who complained saying that I don't celebrate, so I'm not going to participate, and so we had to call it the year-end lunch.
Right.
And in my email, I actually had a picture of a family in the 1950s with just a turkey and just a standard, like a dinner table with just this family. And I found a modern version of it that was more colorful, but it had a lot of like holiday decorations and things like that were Christmassy, right? And they showed the email to this person who was complaining, saying that they didn't want, holiday in the name. And he said, no, I'm not going to participate because this email is showing a family at Christmas time.
What is he?
I don't know. I didn't even ask.
He's an asshole, I think. Because
But
I'm an atheist, and I don't make. Basically, I don't want a fucking Christmas letter from work that has like goddamn Christmas trees and shit clip art all over it, right? Like
yeah.
that's kind of
And I didn't have that because I didn't make this into a religious or holiday. I didn't attempt to.
So the Christmas is so like unreligious these days that it doesn't really. I mean, to make a big deal about it is just kind of like, oh fuck.
Yeah. And so the managers and I had to like hear my bosses, and we all had to figure out a way to make this email completely just for one person because he wouldn't have participated. And then our boss, my direct boss, said, no, everybody has to be part of this lunch, and we can't just like eliminate one person. And I thought to myself, well, why not? Like, what's the big deal if one guy doesn't want to? If he doesn't celebrate things, then why are we bending over backwards just for this one person to make him believe that this isn't a celebration? Does that make any sense?
It's like I don't get what his fucking issue is.
Forget about the Christmas thing. Forget about everything else. One guy is making us redo like a announcement saying we're giving you free food, and who cares what's on this email? Yeah,
and it's not like you have to pray to get it or something like that. There's no like you don't have to swear something on a stack of Bibles to get it. Like
I've sent out enough of these emails that I know what's appropriate and what's inappropriate, and I didn't feel that it was inappropriate at all, but I was made to redo the email. And I was going to argue with people because I like the guy. That's the problem, is that I know him and I don't have
If you like the guy, tell him, look, dude.
Yeah. I don't know him well enough. I like him, but I don't know him well enough that I could say something.
You're basically an atheist, too. I mean, like, on paper, you're not an atheist, but you're an atheist, really.
But he's not. He goes to church.
What?
Yeah. So what religion? I'm trying to figure it out. Is it Jehovah, maybe? Do Jehovah's celebrate stuff?
Oh, Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah. Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate Christmas.
They don't celebrate Christmas.
You could be Jehovah's Witness. You could be Seventh-day Adventist. There's a bunch of like splinters also off Seventh-day Adventists that don't.
Okay. All right.
And also they think of Christmas as so it's actually not that like it's a Christian holiday that's a problem. It's the fact that to them it's a pagan holiday, and that's why I don't like working. I don't work for a company like that anymore because I'm just I'm so sick of that.
No, I know, dude.
And there was much less of it at Nokia than there is at like when I worked at like a NPO in Canada. And NPOs are worse, right? Because like everyone's so fucking careful because they're so like uber conscious of we have to do like have good hiring practice. I'm like,
yep.
Absolutely, intention is perfect, but you still need to hire someone who's capable of doing the job.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like if they hired an English proofreader who could not speak English. That was kind of what they did.
Every time I think of we have to hire this person because it would be the right thing to do, I always think of that Mel Brooks movie with the black cowboy. What's that movie called? Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
And I remember seeing that.
That's what the reaction to the Black Stormtrooper reminded me of.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's just sort of like the way how they reacted in that movie. Yeah, he's the black sheriff, and but one of the actors, like one of the characters, actually says, we should hire him because he's black, and actually no, what I think the motivation for that movie was that they were hiring him because nobody else wanted to do it.
No, they wanted to get everyone out of. They wanted to like ruin. Needed to get the town out of the way so they could like knock it down
build
and
it. Yeah,
rebuild
something. Yeah.
So they wanted basically to, and the people were asking for a sheriff because the last sheriff had been killed.
Mm.
So they basically sent him there because they knew they thought the town people would kill him.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems to be a theme in Mel Brooks movies because the producers is kind of like let's make the worst play ever made, so that we can lose money. And I think that's a pretty common theme in comedies. You know, I'm thinking of Trading Places now too.
Trading Places.
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
So what? Sorry, back to Star Wars.
Yes, back to Star Wars. J.J. Abrams, man.